Hi, LibbyCat5 here. As you all know, on my channel last time, I made a video stating that basically I would be making this a review channel. I would review everything, anything I could. Don't give a shit what it is. I mean, it could be the topic of love. I'm gonna review it. I don't give a shit. My first review is going to be on Kevin Smith's movie, his first movie, Clerks. For those of you who don't know who Kevin Smith is, and you don't really know his movies, they're like dialogue movies, basically. What happens is that, he basically takes these characters, and it's like a day in the life of blah, blah, blah. Kind of thing. At least that's what it feels like to me. Like, in Clerks, it was a day in the life of a clerk, basically. But it was so awesome because he had such awesome dialect and such a funny story to tell with it. I mean, it was him making a movie with his friends, and who wouldn't love to fucking do that? Fun fact about this movie, though, another fun fact anyways, when Kevin Smith went to make this movie, he sold off all of his comic books. I don't know if he sold off all of them, but he sold some of his comic books, and, he did all that to raise money for the flick. And he didn't even think anyone was gonna fucking see this movie. Had no idea it was gonna be a big hit. He was just making a fucking movie with his friends and trying to follow his dream of being a director / writer, or just director at the time, I don't know. Whatever he was aiming for at the time, he aimed for it, and he aced it, I think. In Clerks, what happens is there's this guy named Dante, who is centrally the main character, but the other main character is Randall. They're kind of co-stars, but at the same time, a lot of the time, Clerks will focus in on Dante's life. It's one movie, but there's also a sequel, but both of them kind of mainly refer to Dante and what's going on in his life. Now, for this being not a homemade movie, but for this being such a small funded movie, I guess, for a starter film, it was actually done pretty well. It was done in black and white. So for most of the movie, it is in black and white, and I apologize for that. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of the quality at first, but then you start watching the movie and you're like, this works. This goes with it. This is perfect. So in the second Clerks, it is colored, though, for most of it. But, so, the first Clerks, no color, completely perfect camera shots, even though, you can tell it's kind of homemade or whatever, but it's not bad. It's really pretty fucking decent. So, hang on a sec. I'm watching an actual Kevin Smith Q&A right now, because, like I said, I'm doing a review on all of his movies, and then I'll be doing a review on him in general as a director in person, which... it's not going to be a bad review. So if Kevin Smith is watching this and he's like, oh, you're going to review me? I hope it's not going to be bad. I love you. You're like one of my favorites. But with Clerks, I thought Clerks was awesome. One of my favorites. Starts out with Dante and Randall, and it starts out with him getting a call, from his boss, and his boss is like, other guy's sick, called in, blah, blah, you have to come in. So he's not even supposed to be there, hence his famous line, I'm not even supposed to be here today. Which a lot of you might or may not have heard Dante say or rant about. So, Dante goes into work, Randall shows up at 11 o'clock, 2 hours later, whatever the fuck. He is always late, I'm assuming. So Dante gets there, it's a complete movie about, dialogue. I can't tell you really what it's about, because it's about life. He was literally making a movie with his friends about life, and I think he took his own life and kind of poured that into it, how it was at the time, maybe he was Silent Bob, and he did have a J, and they did hang out at the Quick Stop all day, I think it's awesome how some directors will take shit from their own, writers or directors will take shit from their own life and put it into their movies, because it shows a piece of them through their work. And I think that's all any writer or director can ask for, is for a piece of them to be shown through their career, so that this is them, this is their movie, and they made it and they poured their heart into it. And Kevin Smith definitely did this with Clerks. But there is this one scene, one of my favorite highlighted scenes, where Walt Flanagan's in it, the guy from Comic Book Men. I fucking love Walt Flanagan. I think he's so awesome. I love his personality and shit. Can't wait to go to New Jersey one day and go into Jay and Silent Bob's secret stash and meet him. And maybe try to bargain with him. Maybe not, though, because he's kind of scary to bargain with, as I've seen on TV. Not scary, but intimidating, definitely. But anyways, it's the part where Walt Flanagan's in it, and I think he's not just a disturbed customer. I'm pretty sure it's also him that plays the guy checking the eggs. I think it is, but I'm not for sure. So if I'm not right, don't be mean to me about it. But it's this guy checking the eggs and shit, and, you know, like, because I guess he's trying to find the perfect carton of eggs in a Quick Stop, which I don't know why the fuck you'd go to a Quick Stop instead of a Walmart, but, you know, it's whatever, it's part of the movie, but, you know, he's checking every egg to see if it's perfect, and Dante and Randall are sitting there at the counter like, what the fuck is this dude doing? Like, what is going on right now? And so, you know, this lady walks in, and she's like, oh, I've seen a guy like that before, and starts explaining it. And I just watched this movie last night, but I smoke a lot of weed, so I can't remember this part exactly or precisely, but fucking, she starts talking about, tells him that it's this syndrome, and it's mainly with guidance counselors, so the guy's a sad-ass guidance counselor, though. You know, my guidance counselor was cool, kind of, so I can't really, but anyways, so, you know, and then the chick says something completely off the fucking wall before she leaves, like, about what she does for a living, which is something about jacking off small animals to make them come, or I don't know, just something out of the fucking wall. But I love it, because at first he'll do, like, normal dialect, and then he'll include something that's, like, completely off the fucking wall that you wouldn't have thought of. And I love Kevin Smith for that. I love that he can just take real life and make it into these wacky situations that we've all had, because, you know, I used to walk around Monrovia. I used to hang out at Dairyland, which was my Quick Stop, you know? Like, I think everyone can relate to this movie. I think everyone can see a piece of themselves or how their life was at a certain point in that movie. Because it's like, those are the days before you did whatever you did, before you turned into a professional athlete, or before you became a mom, or, you know, those are the days before your life changed. Those were the days when you were young and anything was possible, but it seemed like you were in a rut. Everyone's been there. Everyone's gotten out of it. And I think these movies really, you know, I think this movie in particular really says, you know, just because you're a clerk doesn't mean that, you know, you still can't have a great life, doesn't mean you still can't have fun. You know, just because you have a bullshit job in a bullshit place doesn't mean that that's not your place. You know, I think in the movie, because at the very end of Clerks 2, which, spoilers if you haven't seen it, so spoiler, so if you haven't seen it, I'd jump off now. But at the end of Clerks 2, Dante's just like, fuck it, let's buy the... No, Randall's like, fuck it, let's buy the Quick Stop. And so they talked to Jay and Silent Bob. They got the movie from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, another Kevin Smith flick that I have to tell you about. And they reopened the fucking Quick Stop, because in reality, he loved fucking working there. He loved just hanging out with his buddy all day. And in life, you know, what else can you ask for but a good job where you're your own boss, you make your own money, and you get to hang out with your friends all day? That's awesome. That's great. And that's basically what they do all day in Clerks, is they work a low, non-meaningful job, really, and they just hang out, and all this weird shit happens. Now, for those of you who don't know, Kevin Smith is Silent Bob, so in his first movie, you'll see him. He doesn't talk at all, which I don't know why Silent... My name's so mixed up. Why Kevin Smith made him a mute, but that's just the way the character works. But it works, because Jay's just, you know, he'll talk no matter fucking what. So that's my review on Clerks, is that it's a very great movie. Everyone can relate to it, and it kind of, you know, for everyone, I think, has some significance, or reminds them of that part in their life where they were just like, fuck, I'm never gonna get out of here. It is a funny movie filled with lots of laughs. Like, they go to a funeral and Randall violates a corpse. Not gonna tell you how that happens. And then they end up having a hockey game on the roof of the fucking store. Some chick fucks a dead guy. Yes, that happens. I know it sounds so morbid, but it's so funny when it happens. And I know this is a really old movie, so most of you have already seen this, but that's my review on it. Is, you know, Clerks was pretty fucking awesome. It's a movie I would definitely still watch, you know, every now and again. and all the other Kevin Smith movie. Next Kevin Smith movie I'll be reviewing is Dogma. And I gotta say, Dogma is very controversial, and a lot of people have a lot of issues with it that are all churchy and shit. I'm a Christian. I fully support it. Kevin Smith was actually Catholic, or claimed to be before he wrote that, or he was Catholic, and he always claimed to be, and then he switched to Christianity. Like, I just was, watching one of his Q&As, and I guess he's Christian now, or I don't know. But we'll find out when I talk about Dogma next week, or whenever the fuck I get a new video out. If Kevin Smith is watching this, I love all your movies. Clerks was awesome. It was your start, man. It was where it all started. It set the base for all of your movies after that, and it was just like the beginning domino to this game of dominoes. It just created one big massive splash in the universe, and that's awesome. I think that's really awesome, and I appreciate, his work and who he is as a person, because he put that into his movies, and that's what makes them such great movies. But that's my review on Clerks. I hope everybody has a great, day or whatever. Happy holidays, because it is after Thanksgiving now, so I'm going to start saying happy holidays after my videos. I'm sorry if this one's a little long. I love Kevin Smith, so I tend to rant on a little bit about him, especially about the useless facts that no one cares about. But anyways, if you liked my video, like, subscribe, all that jazz. I will be making my next review video on Dogma, like I just said. And you guys all just have a great day. Peace out.